200 years ago, 2,000 years ago. This isn't going to work.
She's picking up a massive object in this video.
Ships that might be cloaked, I can sense them in my vicinity. So I guess I'm just very tuned in.
Vulcan head honcho walks out, ear reveal.
Yeah.
The crowd goes, oh my God. Was to protect the secrets from the Air Force that were not out there in the public. So a storm is coming, folks. A storm is coming to UFO Twitter. A drone storm, to be precise. Good evening, everyone. Darcy Weir here, and Andy Marciel is back. He's co-hosting in the space tonight. We got an interesting show for you. We're going to talk about all this drone activity that's been happening around the United States. Yesterday, I was informed some stuff is happening in Mexico and Canada. What's going on? This is weird. You know, is it mass hysteria? Is it real? Where are they coming from? Are they aliens? Are they just man-made drones? There's all kinds of things we can explore tonight. I'm going to bring in our twats here. We got Dale. Dale, why don't you take it away, Pastor Dale, my friend, my man. Let's talk about what's going on and try to keep a positive message to start off the show.
Well, thank you, Darcy. One thing I want to start off by saying is, and I absolutely love your space because it's a respectful space. And really, that's how communication is supposed to take place, where people respect one another. And I'm going to be honest with you. One of the reasons I don't do a lot of spaces is because of all the conflict and all the fighting. I've had some good friends hurt with some very mean words. And so I really think we have to respect one another. Today's catchphrase is, be kind or be quiet. What did Mom used to tell us? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Be kind or be quiet. I was talking to a friend the other day, and they were talking about how things used to be. And he's talking about really the holiday season and about how the businesses used to decorate up and the town really went all out on it. And so he was kind of frustrated. And then he was talking about how bad, Black Friday has become. It's become literally Black and Blue Friday. I mean, watching people fight over the last toy or the last TV or the last iPad, all to save a whopping $100. And so let me say it again. Be kind or be quiet. Just imagine what our community would be like if we lived that way. The sad news is we're not living that way. In fact, recently I saw a post on X that was very disappointing. It was a meme of two gentlemen laughing, and I think it was from Pulp Fiction or something like that. But this person put the meme up just to laugh at people who had a different view than he did. People that believe that maybe possibly some of this is NHI mimicking as drones. And so it was just sad to see someone do that. I don't know why they felt like they had to belittle people in the process. I mean, it's okay to disagree. It's absolutely okay to disagree, but it's important how we disagree. Remember, be kind or be quiet. That's what our moms told us to do, right? To be kind or be quiet. The thing is that this person is better than that. We all are. Remember, doing that doesn't make the other person look small. It makes you look small. And so let's make sure that we do that. Let's make sure that we be kind or be quiet.
Love it. Great message. Thanks so much, my man. Yeah, we got a lot of riffraff on social media. We got a lot of people that think they're better than everybody else, or their opinion is the only true fact. But hey, sometimes you don't know till you know. And with this case, with this like mass drone swarming that's going around all kinds of Air Force bases, all around New Jersey, we don't know and we're just grasping at straws. So to belittle each other and treat each other lesser because of that, no bueno. I brought my friend Martin Willis into the show tonight. Martin's been looking into the drone issue. He's been studying, cramming for the exam because I gave him that task last minute. But I'm going to really let Andy Marciel and Martin Willis take over the conversation regarding this whole drone phenomenon. And I will just quickly introduce Martin Willis for people that don't know who he is. Martin Willis is an aficionado of the enigmatic realm of UFOs. He's harbored fascination with the subject since his formative years. Initially wavering in his beliefs, his encounter with a UFO in Carmel Valley, California in 2007 served as an epiphany, solidifying his conviction in the existence of unidentified flying objects. Since that transformative moment, Martin has attentively followed discussions surrounding the phenomenon, maintaining a stance of cautious skepticism tempered by an ever open mind. He actually runs his own show on KGRA, podcast UFO, and he's been doing that since November of 2011. And, you know, he's a great guy. I was hanging out with him in person out in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. We went to the Shag Harbor Incident Conference and we had some jokes, and, you know, we talked about UFOs being somewhere in the oceans, guys, somewhere out there. There's ocean-based UFOs. I think he knows what I'm joking about. But yeah, let's bring him up. Say hi. You can unmute your mic now if you want, Martin.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you good.
Oh, awesome. First of all, I want to say, observer, the first person that spoke or whatever, totally agree with you on that. And there's way too many people out there saying, you're wrong, I'm right. You know, painting big brushstrokes of who someone is or what someone is if they don't believe what you believe. So anyway, I like that message a lot. That was a good way to start the show. Be kind to each other or be quiet. I like that. And it seems, you know, it doesn't seem like it's been getting any better. But thank you. I enjoy being here, and we got to hang out in Washington, D.C. Don't forget that.
Oh, dude, I forgot. We had lunch with Randall Nickerson after and laughed about you taking out those punks at the front of the line.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, it's an interesting topic. I want to say hi to everyone. If I have not seen you in one of my shows, I thank you for listening tonight. And the fact that, you know, Darcy's doing anything I'm going to be involved in, if possible. I really respect you, Darcy, and you're a lot of fun to be with. And I saw you on your birthday, actually, and I tried to embarrass you, but geez, boy, you're a hard guy to embarrass.
Oh, I've been embarrassed since I came out the womb. My mom's done a good job at that. Thanks, man.
Trying to make you feel at home. Yeah.
So yeah, I feel great when I'm being embarrassed. So hey, Andy, why don't you open up the show? Let's talk about the drones. Let's go over this meticulously, and then Martin jump in. We got the cat, we got Uncle Red, we got Dale, Think Tank. We could all go at it. Let's see what's going on here.
Well, my biggest thing is that, you know, like I'm seeing a lot of people getting, how can you say, worried? And I think there is reason to be worried. I personally don't think that this is, I don't think that this is anything NHI related. There's just too much footage that's come out that shows that whatever this is clearly man-made. You have a lot of, you know, strobe lights and, you know, just normal things you would see on aircraft that we would have in the skies, you know, on an everyday basis. And I actually spoke to someone that has a lot of information when it comes to this subject, and they laughed at it and told me, NHI doesn't need, these kind of lights to traverse the skies, which is, when you think about it, is kind of true. They really don't need to warn anybody or have these regulation lights to travel and go wherever the heck they want.
But Andy,
But-
pardon me just a second. Haven't I heard that a number of them do not have any lights at all?
I don't know. I was getting conflicting reports because everything that I've seen showed the opposite, that they were all lit up. I mean, some of them were just look like Christmas trees, unless they were seeing some. Actually, I just saw a video that someone recently posted where a chopper was chasing one, and in the middle of them chasing it, the lights just went out and they basically lost it. So it's possible that, there were reports that, some of them didn't have lights on, but most of the ones that I've seen posted did have. As a matter of fact, I think one of them that what people were confused with, thinking it was a drone, ended up being, I believe it was a military chopper, if I'm not mistaken. But some of them, I think me and Darcy were in agreement that they just looked like aircraft, like you can hear at the beginning. I thought it was one video I saw. It sounded like it could have been, noise in the background, possibly from a highway or whatever. But after really listening to it, we came to the agreement that it did sound like aircraft, like an aircraft sound, like an aircraft engine. So I personally don't think this is something NHI related. Now, my gut is telling me, I could be wrong, is that I think there may be someone trying to use this entire scenario with the UFO topic being so, discussed and where it's at, that they may be using it against us in a kind of psychological warfare type thing. Like it might be like using it to their advantage.
Well, Greer's been posting that this is the fake alien invasion that he's been talking about for so long, right? He's really capitalizing on that. Although I don't agree with him at all. That's one person that's capitalizing on this situation. And I think there is hysteria, like guaranteed. Some of this stuff that's being seen is just normal. Like I saw something was posted on UFO Reddit not too long ago. It was a Cessna from underneath, and somebody's taken a video or a picture of it, and they're like, "Oh my God, the drones! What's going on? They're taking over New Jersey." And it's like, look you're taking a picture of a Cessna.
On that accent.
Okay, well, I'll work on it. I'm Canadian. So, there is a lot of that. There's mass hysteria to some degree. But there's also some real stuff, there's some craft that shouldn't be there. And obviously the police are observing them. Air Force bases are being swarmed. This is legit. And it's becoming an issue over Jersey. So, I mean, who wants to jump up and speak to that next?
I can, if you'd like.
Go for it.
But first of all, I'd have to say that I don't know if you followed or have seen this, that Jeff Van Drew was claiming he's a congressman or something. He was saying that he got word from higher ups in intelligence that there's an Iranian mothership and that it was off the coast of New Jersey and released, launching these drones. And anyway, the Pentagon has come right out just tonight and said that is false. They don't have any information that to just avoid that whole conversation.
Yeah. I mean, how would Iran even get across the Atlantic with that? Without
what's a mothership?
Come on.
What is he talking about?
Insane.
But New Jersey. I'll talk on that a little bit.
I just invited you to be co-host. You might see that button pop up. You're welcome to accept that, Martin, as well. But
okay. I'm not seeing anything, but okay.
Talk about Jersey.
All right, yeah. So I just I was contacted today. I put last night. I talked on my show that I'm going to be talking about drones tonight. Hey, and I need help out there. So I had a bunch of people send me some things today, and one was I was in contact with this woman who goes by the handle of Dawn Fantasia at New Jersey. So she wrote recently, posted this, that she just left the New Jersey State Police headquarters following the briefing of the New Jersey state legislators relating to the unexplained drone sightings in New Jersey. And she also added who was there. The governor was not there. So, one, we know nothing, period. To state that there is no known credible threat is incredibly misleading. And I am informed that all officials have that same sentiment. State authorities, including the New Jersey SP, state police, are shackled with what they are able to do. Any interception or takedown of any of the UAS is under the strict jurisdiction of the federal government. At this point, these are all her words. I believe military intervention is the only path forward. There will be no answers in the absence of proactivity. The U.S. Coast Guard seems to be the most likely to intervene. I think that's very surprising, the Coast Guard, that they're the most likely to intervene with all this. But here's the reports are just, I didn't realize it was this many. The first sighting was November 18, with sightings occurring every night since then from dusk until 11 p.m., 6 or 7 hours. Frequencies of reports range from 4 to 180 sightings per evening. Large drones up to 6 feet in diameter operate in a coordinated manner. Lights are turned off, making them difficult to detect, appear to avoid detection by traditional methods, for instance, helicopters, radio frequencies, not identified as hobbyist drones or related DHS. Anyway, this goes on and on. Great little report she did, but it's really, really puzzling, because if this isn't a government operation, someone is very, very well funded to be able to do whatever it is they're trying to do. And this would have to be a long-term coordinated effort.
100%. Just before we go to hands here, Andy, you wanted to pipe in with something?
No, I was just agreeing with him. It's definitely someone who has, access to pretty decent funds to pull something like this off, especially considering the size of some of these things that, the size of cars. That's a pretty decent technology that's being used for this. So.
Yeah. Why don't I play this little clip? This is actually pretty interesting. Lester Naird just posted this 4 hours ago, not just, but listen to this. Let me know if you guys can't hear it.
Jen, Sabrina, can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this issue of drone sightings over New Jersey? It's near sensitive
Still can't hear it.
The FBI's involved.
Can't hear
What
that?
is the Pentagon doing?
Nope.
Sure.
No.
Okay, never mind. It is basically it's the Associated Press's post from the Pentagon briefing that their press secretary did. And they're basically saying, one, the Pentagon is aware of the drone situation. Two, they have no evidence it's coming from any foreign entity or adversary. Three, they are not U.S. military drones. Four, it's not an Iranian mothership. So we've covered a lot of that already. Do you guys want to go to hands? Andy, you want to kind of tell me who's up first?
I'm not sure if Theo or Dale had their hands up first, but one of the two can start.
I'm going to let Theo go first, and then I'll go second.
Okay. Thank you. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I put a couple things in the nest. I won't go really in depth in all of them, but I'll try to go in order. So last January, there was a report out. Let me see where it's from. BBC News. So BBC News, Matt Persay, I hope I'm saying that right. He wrote an article saying RAF Lakenheath plans progress to bring U.S. nuclear weapons to Suffolk. And this is with the F-35A. And this was last January 29th, 2024. So that's about 11 months ago that there was talks between the UK and the US government they already have the F-35A, which is the nuclear capable Striker. It's our current stealth fighter. That was 9 months ago, 10 months ago. There was other reports saying that the nuclear weapons already there. Well, what happens a month ago, we already all know the RAF Lakenheath in the UK is popping off. Christopher Sharp's looking into it. Go to my other thing. I posted a video. I won't watch it, but a video up in from Thai Ninh, Vietnam. I hope I'm saying that right. But this was in October 29th. So I started seeing, personally, I started things picking up around Halloween. There's actually a lot of activity that started off on Halloween night globally. So this isn't just US and not just the US, not just the UK. One other point too, I put up another video. I don't have the date right this second. I do have it in my notes somewhere, but up in the nest, someone saw a weird looking orange orb. They chased after it into a forest. You can look at this orange thing glowing. It's not look like a jet. It's not look like a drone. It just looks like an orange orb. Very, anomalous. That's different than, the regular drones. And then let me see what else I have.
I saw the shoot down video you posted too. It looks like some dude's walking by like a classic Winnebago or something.
Yeah, that one. So I had another video today that I posted of a shoot down. That one is a legitimate shoot down. However, the date was wrong. That was from Illinois. But the one you just mentioned, that one's legitimate. And the guy's not commented since then. So I think that's just very strange. There's no other news from it too. But yeah. I
heard there was a shoot down in Jersey. Can anybody confirm that?
I heard that some drones were actually being taken down, like some civilian drones couldn't get near them. That once they got to a certain distance, they would malfunction and drop out the sky.
Yeah. And
that seems like that would answer a lot of questions if they actually found one of these things.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll just like 30 more seconds because I know we have a couple other hands. I won't go into my other point, but so these drones are coming from out of the ocean, quote unquote drones, UAP. They're coming from out of the ocean, some of them, from literally from out of underneath the ocean, so transmedium, some of them, being up in the air over 6 hours. We're hearing reports of like ambiguous or unconventional light figurations. Just a lot of strange stuff. So I have some other points too, but I'll let it go to other hands. I'll try to come back later.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, let's not forget China does have the capabilities of transmedium drones.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. I posted one today too. VTOL, vertical takeoff and lift. They're actually virtual vertical takeoff lift drones that go from helicopter to airplane. So there are strange drones out there too, but again, this stuff, I don't think it's that. So I post videos that you can tell it's not that, in my opinion.
Do you guys want to try listening to this House hearing on mysterious drones, New Jersey drone sighting from, I guess, Washington, D.C.? It's happening right now. I'll see if the audio comes through.
Carry an explosive to destroy a Nashville power substation. We know that there have been additional incidents of suspicious drone activity near substations. And I think this is critically important, especially in the time that we're in where there is this big push for alternate energy sources, whether it's battery storage, whether it's wind storage, without really doing the work to make sure that we could protect these assets. In addition to cyber concerns, what physical security risks do drones pose to energy sector assets?
A great question. I think payloads are obviously, as witnessed in the Tennessee case, but you could simply ram a drone into some of our infrastructure. And we do take a defense in-depth approach and try to add shielding and obfuscate certain targets. But on top of that, you could also see a situation, and we've seen published cases where they've actually used drones to enable a cyber intrusion as well.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you, gentlemen from New York. I thank all the witnesses for the vote. Keith Jones is the Deputy Executive Assistant Commissioner for Air and Marine Operations. He has over 32 years of law enforcement experience. Notably, he has helped found the San Diego Sector's Border Patrol Search, Trauma, and Rescue Team and was the primary driver of its national expansion. Mr. Robert Wheeler Jr. serves as the Assistant Director of the FBI's Critical Incident Response Group. His responsibilities include providing expertise in crisis management, negotiations, hazardous devices and tactical operations, behavioral assessment, surveillance, and aviation. He joined the division in July of this year. And Mr. Bragg Wigman serves as the Deputy Assistant Attorney General for National Security at the U.S. Department of Justice. He has spent his career as a government attorney with legal experience at the Department of Defense, Department of State, and at the National Security Council. We thank all of you for being here today. We will now begin with opening statements. I know that you have submitted written statements as well, and thank you for that. And if you'll please adhere to the 5-minute summary of your statements. We'll start with Mr. Jones. You're now recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, Chairman Pfluger, Ranking Member Magaziner, Chairman Jimenez, and Ranking Member Tanadar, and distinguished members of the subcommittee. It's an honor here to be here today on behalf of U.S. Customs and Border Protection to discuss the CBP authorities and capabilities dedicated to countering threats posed by the malicious use of unmanned aircraft systems, commonly called UAS or drones. Throughout my 33-year career in border security, first with the U.S. Border Patrol and now Air and Marine Operations, I've witnessed transnational criminal organizations, or TCOs, and other malicious actors leveraging technology to circumvent U.S. law enforcement. In recent years, I've devoted significant time to understanding the increasing UAS threat to border security and coordinating CBP's strategic response. Air and Marine Operations is CBP's executive agent for counter-UAS operations. We work alongside our U.S. Border Patrol and Office of Field Operation counterparts to detect, track, and mitigate the threat of these aircraft along our borders. We also collaborate with our DOJ and FBI partners on investigations, as well as CBP Innovation, the DHS Science and Technology Directorate, Department of Defense, private industry, to identify technologies that can improve our mitigation and domain awareness capabilities. I'd like to emphasize 3 important aspects of this subject today. First, the current state of UAS threats to border security. Second, how our critical authorities enable us to respond. And finally, the importance of improving CBP's domain awareness capabilities and technology to detect and mitigate UAS threats. First, UAS activity along the border is increasing rapidly. During a recent 6-week period, CBP sensors recorded more than 6,900 drone flights within close proximity of our borders. It is these flights, particularly those in areas of high illicit activity, that present the greatest threat to the safety of CBP's frontline personnel, pose a serious collision risk to our crewed aircraft, and diminish the effectiveness of our border security operations. Although intent cannot be derived from border proximity alone, through our intelligence processes, CBP has associated a large percent of these drone flights with nefarious activities on the ground. TCOs have fully integrated UAS technology into their operations. Of most concern to CBP is the wide use of drones to conduct reconnaissance of CBP law enforcement personnel, their locations, and their activities. This technology enables smugglers to guide non-citizens or transport contraband across the border without encountering any law enforcement. Additionally, to a lesser extent, TCOs have used drones to fly contraband over the border. And most drones have limited.
All right, I'm gonna quiet it down there for a bit. I think that was a pretty good earful. We can come back to that maybe when the FBI guy wants to talk, but what do you guys think? I mean, it seems like they're kind of overwhelmed, the CBP and the enforcement personnel that are dealing with these drones.
Dale was next to speak, so he can go.
Dale? Still there, buddy?
Yeah. I've noticed a kind of a trend on X, and it seems like there are different camps, and people want to say it's this or it's that. And we're talking way back beyond the drones. And I think that's a mistake. I think we need to listen to all voices. My personal opinion is that it is NHI. They've been around, we've seen them for a long time. I don't think they just disappeared because these drones show up. I believe that they're adversarial tech as well. I mean, you got to realize that Russia and China are in the spy game. And so that's not surprising that they would be. And now the third one is hobby drones. I mean, they're getting more and more sophisticated. And so that's another possibility. And then I'm going to go with Andy on the last one. A false flag operation. We have to be very, very careful. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm saying we need to be very, very careful that we don't just dismiss something out of hand. Because, whether they started this or not, they may look at an opportunity, the Pentagon, the DOD, they may look at an opportunity and try to take advantage of it. And so, you know, what I'm noticing is the FBI guy that got up and spoke to Congress, he's like, we don't know. We just heard, you know, that the Pentagon said that it's not adversarial tech. And I forgot what else. Oh, not government as well. But the
But
one
how do they know? I'm sorry
that's
to interrupt you, but-
that's exactly what I was going to say. It's like, well, if it's not, and like I said, they may have shot down some of these things, but why wouldn't they just come out and say, hey, we shot some of these down. These are commercial drones.
Right.
But they didn't do that. So, but my thing is, let's just keep open-minded. Let's not go into one camp and say, well, it has to be all MHI, or it has to be all adversarial tech, or it has to be all just hobby drones, or just it's all just this false flag. Let's leave it open that it could possibly be all four, and just wait until we have the facts, until we have the data to really jump into any camp.
Good point.
Agreed.
Go to hands, maybe. Andy?
The cat.
Yeah, I agree with you. Also, I just wanted to say that historically, NHI has been around war zones or places that where there's a lot of soldiers or there's tension. And we know that from history. We know that from Rome. We know that from World War II. We know that from World War I, the Civil War, the Battle of, what was it, 1412? I think that's it. But so NHI has been around war zones, and they've also been seen around Ukraine, and it would not surprise me if it would be both. I've seen videos coming out of Jersey, and I've seen a mix of real videos, planes, weird orbs, fake videos. Like it's like all hands on deck with what's going on right now. But what I wanted to highlight was that there was a Ocean Guard official that came out and was speaking. I don't know if it was at Congress or if it was at the New Jersey, the New Jersey building to. Basically, what he said was that the Coast Guard was being chased by these drones that came out of the ocean, and that they were chased by about 30, 40 of these things, chasing a boat. And then there was another story that came out where there was a helicopter trying to rescue somebody, and they were blocked from landing because of the drones. So, I mean, either way, whether it's NHI or it's Russia/China, it's an issue. And I did want to highlight something that I was told an email from one of my sources, who's a former State Department official, who I used in several of my previous articles. And basically what he said is, he said it's China. And I didn't put that out until just today. But I received that about a few days ago. I didn't even know because I haven't been checking my email. But he's saying it's China, and I mean, that kind of fits with what came out today. I don't remember what the congressman that said it, but he was saying that basically it was Iran. And I want to highlight that just like the U.S. uses metamaterials to create aircraft, so does other adversarial countries like China or Russia.
Yeah, I'm sure they've been working on that stuff for a long time. They got to keep.
100%.
They got to compete with us, right? So, who's next?
Ursula. You go ahead. You had your hand up.
Hey, Ursula.
Yeah. Hey, Darcy. Hey, everyone. This has been a topic for a lot of spaces in the past few weeks. I think at first everyone, they wanted it to make sense, but I think in reality, we don't know it. I mean, it doesn't have to make sense. And I think that there's probably both drones and UAP. I've been looking at dozens and dozens of videos all the time, and there has to be I think some of it is NHI. And when people say, oh no, I don't believe in like UFOs, and then that has to like you just have to go back to like indigenous people's stories, and that there's facts there's these things have been here, and maybe they're making their presence known again. And there's a lot there. I have a lot to say, but I'll let someone else speak. But thank you. Awesome space.
Thanks. Yeah. We know we're not the first to talk about drones here, but we're just trying to get every idea out there together and just have a healthy conversation about it. Who's up next?
Kent had his hand up.
Kent, g'day, mate. How you doing?
Kent.
Kent, you got a
Well, go ahead, Chad. Maybe Kent wants to sleep.
I'll be quick, y'all. Go ahead, man.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you, man. What's up?
Yeah, no, I don't get it, guys. We're on the verge of World War III. Every country's on high alert. This does not seem like a time that anyone would be testing drones over sensitive military installations. It makes much more pragmatic sense to me that these things, whatever they are, me, Darcy, I think that they could be NHI, but just ask yourself a practical question. We are at the highest state of tension in the world that we've been in years.
Yeah.
Would this be a time to be testing drones over Air Force bases? It makes no sense, mate.
Unless they're trying to instigate a situation. It could be.
I don't think it's a foreign actor. I think foreign actor is the least of your concerns there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kent. And I've had healthy skeptical arguments with my friend Andy here over the past weeks. Like, he'll send me something and I'm like, that's a plane. And he's like, no, it's not. I'm telling you, that is a friggin' UFO. It's an ovni. And I'm like, dude, I'm listening to the audio and you can hear the thing landing. You can hear the engines. It's not, but then he's like, okay, maybe it's something else. The orbs that people are seeing, that's something else, because that doesn't have a definitive, shape of a plane or a drone. So I don't know what the orb videos are, because that's been popping up a lot. I mean, even I just saw one that was posted on Chicago. There's like a whole bunch of drones flying over Chicago right now. It's pretty interesting. Dale, I think
just a quick response too.
Yeah.
You know me, mate. You and I have discussed things before, and I'm not a bullshit artist. The amount of activity that I've seen going on over the skies. I'm out in the middle of nowhere in Thailand, so I'm not near an airport. I'm not near any traffic routes, and the amount of activity that I've seen going on over this place has increased in the last 2 years tenfold. And for some reason, mate, whatever this is, and we don't have to go down the NHI, but on the material science side, I've worked in some pretty advanced places with some pretty advanced materials. Nothing compares to what these things can do. And I think we've got to keep our minds open to, for whatever reason, and I don't know the reason, I don't profess to know the reason, but for whatever reason, whatever's doing this seems to be doing it to send a message that we can, at a time when your world is in its most heightened state, we can come and do what the hell we like over your bases, and there's nothing you can do about it. I think they're sending a message, eh?
I would agree.
Can I speak a little bit here?
Yeah, go for it, Mark.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's an intent to instigate whatever it is, whoever is doing it, or whatever it is that's doing it. That has to be the intent. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in such a volume and a steady, controlled situation. Following behind the Coast Guard 47-foot boat there when it was doing that for all the time it was doing that. There's something being instigated. And now I may have totally, I've been super busy the last few weeks, but I do recall that there was pictures, and please correct me if this has been proven false, of this blue, like orb-shaped supposed landing in either a military base or commercial airline, airport or something. I saw that floating around. I never really had any time to look into it. And I wondered if anyone has any update on that particular thing. Was it just a hoax?
You're talking about the sphere that was landed in a UK airport, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's
the
it.
blue
That's
sphere?
correct.
Oh, that was a while back. I think that's definitely more debunkable. It's just like a photo mixed with an old video that only shows the object high up in the sky. It could be a balloon. This is probably going to piss people off, the fact that I've said this, but that's my assessment of that situation. What do you guys think?
Well, didn't you say that video was back from like a few?
It's from June.
What was it, June or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
The video's from June.
this month, but it was older. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never saw the video. I only saw an image of a blue object, like an orb-shaped object, but it appeared to be a few feet or something off the ground and next to an air.
There was a video that was going around, but it looked like it was AI, and that's the issue too. I mean, that people are taking taking advantage of this and looking for clout and clicks and whatever else. But they don't realize the actual seriousness of this, whether it's NHI or it's a adversarial tech. I mean, if we don't know what's in our skies, then we're not safe.
Yeah.
What if this is China? What if it has a payload on it? What if it has the ability to cause destruction to cities or to maim people? I mean, and on the other side of things, I mean, what if it's a hostile NHI that's getting ready to attack and is just doing reconnaissance right before the attack? So I mean, this needs to be taken a lot more serious than it is. And I mean, this is happening worldwide. It's not just in the US and the UK, which makes me think that it does have something to do with NHI. And
so Dale, I think you mentioned yesterday that there's a Canada and Mexico drone sighting that's been happening recently. What's that all about?
I just sent it to you. It was just someone had sent the link to me, basically showing that there were people talking about sightings, drones in both countries. I did want to come back a little bit on what the cat said, and that is, China's a possibility and Russia's a possibility on some of this. But to me, and I don't know, I haven't heard anybody say this yet, so I'm going to say it now. I think Russia is the suspect number one. And the reason why I say that, look at how many drones we sent and we gave to Ukraine. And so this could be payback in their own way. Now, they're not doing anything, at least that we know of, nefarious. At least I haven't heard of any reports where these drones are attacking in any way. Maybe they are, but I haven't heard it. But anyway, I just wondered, I've never heard anybody say that, but we sent all these different drones over to Ukraine to fight against Russia. And then here we go a couple years later, and all of a sudden the drones are all over here. And so anyway, something we should at least be talking about, or at least speculating about.
Totally.
I just find it amazing how they claim to not know where it's coming from. Really, with all these assets in the air, satellites that can pinpoint when a rocket is being launched from wherever, you mean to tell me you can't track a swarm of drones? It doesn't make any sense.
It's mental. I just
Exactly.
wanted to read this. My friend Barnett Parker, who's a reporter for Como TV, he posted not too long ago, drone enters airspace above Naval Station Earl. Response from Naval Station Earl after U.S. Northcom said to contact Earl directly about drone activity. We are aware of the reports of increased drone activity in New Jersey and Monmouth County and are actively monitoring the situation. We have received reports from our neighboring communities and law enforcement partners regarding drone activity near the installation over the past few days and can confirm at least one instance of an unidentified drone entering the airspace above Naval Weapons Station Earl. So that's disconcerting.
Desmo had his hand up. Go ahead, Desmo.
I think the most logical answer to what we're seeing, at least in New Jersey, is that it's a DoD classified operation. So you're not going to get anything from the FAA. You're not going to get anything from the press. You're not going to get anything from anybody admitting to that. Just like anything else that's classified in this topic, it's always deny it doesn't exist or it's not happening. It's nothing to worry about and obfuscate. But likely this is some kind of operation being performed for some reason by the DoD. That's the only logical explanation for this, at least the drone part of what we're seeing. I can't speak for the orbs or any of the other stuff, but the drone part that we're seeing in New Jersey area, that's what makes sense for this. Just I've racked my brain about what this all could be. If it was foreign actors in the United States, these things would have been handled quickly. So that leaves that it's not foreign actors, it's internal. And if it's internal, of course, we're not going to be told about it.
So I feel like we're so cocky in the sense of, you know, the position of where we are on the world, you know, separated by oceans, that we don't believe that these things can happen to us. That's what I think, which is why we're not prepared. You understand what I'm saying?
Can I come back on that one just a little bit? I understand as far as reference to New Jersey, but to say that it's a DoD operation, we have to ignore the 17 days that Langley was shut down. And so it's got to be, like I said, that might be one aspect of it, but that can't be the only thing, because there's no way that the DoD is doing a classified operation at Langley.
Langley was months ago, and what was seen there is far different than what was seen in New
It's the
Jersey.
same. They were discussing drones as well.
Right. Exactly.
Drones is a very overly broad term, right? You can say drone for something that looks like an airplane that's shaped like an airplane but flies like a drone at 400 feet, or you can say drone for a predator drone that flies at 10,000 feet, right? That's a very overly broad term, right? What we're seeing in New Jersey is not what was seen in Langley. The videos are completely different.
Yeah.
Right?
What is most
describing
common?
it the same way
Desmo,
doesn't mean that they're the same thing.
do you want to lay out what is more commonly seen over Jersey?
It seems to be that these are well lit, airplane shaped, small in size, unmanned aerial systems, probably roughly the size, like they're saying, of a car, that are flying probably around 500 to 1,000 feet at most, well lit, and operating in some kind of pattern, looking for something for some reason up there. Now you have Langley, which is a very interesting place anyway, right? Most people don't know that Langley shares a research center with NASA. And also you have Camp Perry, which is 30 miles north of Langley, which is where literally the CIA's farm is. You know, and they have their own airstrip and runway there, and they do classified operations there and classified training there. So, I mean, there's a lot to that you have to sort of look at and understand with the region itself. But what is happening in New Jersey specifically right now, I don't believe is related to what was going on in Langley. Even though the term drone is synonymous in both places, they're not the same drones. What's going on up in New Jersey is over the public, and it's very public. Like,
yeah, it's very
strange,
this. Right? You wouldn't expect
Correct.
CIA or you know, some nearby Air Force base to be running drills over civilian population.
I'm not insinuating that this is a drill or a training or any of that. I'm saying they are performing an operation. They have a reason for doing whatever they're doing. I don't know what that reason is.
Apparently even the Air Force, the CBP, and FBI don't know either.
They're not going to admit to knowing what it is if it's a classified operation. If it's a classified mission, they're not going to go on the record to the press, to anybody, and say, hey, we're doing this, but it's classified.
All right.
So we have the National Security Act, and we have posse comitatus. So the military, U.S. military, cannot actually do anything on U.S. soil unless it's a military base. And also we have the National Security Act that prevents any domestic being used on the actual American citizens. So basically,
dude, I was in the military.
There's one exception.
I understand that.
I was in the military, and I flew in helicopters over the United States, all over the place, man.
But did you block a medevac helicopter picking up somebody in New York? This thing's like a week ago, and it prevented somebody getting life flighted out of there. So that's actually multiple federal and aviation felonies that you're not allowed to block. Medevacs from picking people up.
The
Also,
DoD does not operate under the FAA regulations in FAA airspace. The DoD is their own airworthiness authority, and they operate under their own authority, not the FAA's authority. It's completely different regulatory schemes.
Okay. All right, guys. So it's getting a bit bickery here, and I love the dialogue back and forth, but can we maybe go back to hands, just some other people that haven't had a chance to speak?
Yeah, that kid had her hand up.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay, hi. Yeah, so I have a first-hand witness account. I'm in South Florida.
Okay.
And yeah, I had been watching what's been happening in Jersey just from afar. It's just like just viewing on X and all the social media. And then on Friday night, I was with my daughters, and I just glanced up to make a left turn, and I saw like a green orb that was like moving in weird patterns, and I just took out my camera, I started recording, and my daughter saw it too. I pulled over and I stood in an open area because Florida, we have a lot of trees here in South Florida, and then I immediately noticed that they were the same objects that were being shown from Jersey. It was like kind of like a diamond or triangular shape with lights. Two of them were floating into a big white orb, and the orb was so bright that it looked like a flashlight. And I just focused in my phone, and it started to like emit something from it. And then that same orb started to morph into a craft.
Really?
And after that, I've been seeing them everywhere. I see the orbs right before sunset. They start to show up. And at street level, up high, I have a live stream that I did yesterday on Facebook. It kind of went semi-viral because it shows that big light of, it looks like plasma or energy pulsating, and it kind of would come out of nowhere, like kind of like out of thin air, and it would grow till it was so big, and there was a smaller orb right above it. And I kept saying it was like its energy source. I was just talking like whatever came to my head. And a lot of people that watched it that are in Jersey, they said that that's exactly what they've been seeing, that there's always an orb, and then it seems to morph into a craft. So what I've seen is the orbs, the triangular or diamond-shaped craft, and the ones that to me, they looked like they're either projecting a hologram that looks like an airplane, or they're cloaking. But this does not seem like any type of technology that I've never seen anything like that. It transformed with my own eyes, and the light that it shined, it felt like a big flashlight. It was blinding.
Wow.
And it was intimidating. In a way, I felt like it knew that I was there.
Incredible. Let's unpack that a little bit more. I think we can all ask a few more questions, and we can figure out what that's all about. Thank you for sharing that. But I need a longer slot on KGRA. I think Martin might agree with me here. He's a KGRA guy. I've got 10 seconds to go off live with KGRA. We're going to keep the space open, keep chatting. Let's pass around ideas, keep it civil. And thanks for tuning in again this week, folks. Running out the music here.
200 years ago, 2,000 years ago. This isn't going to work.
She's picking up a massive object in this video.
Ships that might be cloaked, I can sense them in my vicinity. So I guess I'm just very tuned in.
Vulcan head honcho walks out, ear reveal.
Yeah.
The crowd goes, oh my God. Was to protect the secrets from the Air Force that were not out there in the public. So